Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Phoebe and this is a YouTube channel about cross stitch. Today's going to be a regular kind of update video. I'm going to talk about all of the things I've been stitching on in the last 2 weeks, and then I will go over my plans for the rest of Maynia. I have a new start for the last day of Maynia. I don't have any haul or stash acquisitions today, but I will have some books to talk to you about at the end of the video if you're interested in book talk. So welcome to my channel. Grab something to stitch on. I am going to share with you a lot of different projects today because I participate in Maynia every year, and it's the word May for the month and then NIA is working on a different project every day for the first. This year it's 24 days of the month because it's 2024. And this year with the exception of like the very first project, because I was continuing a series, I've been working on already previously started whips and just getting progress on other whips this year rather than starting anything new, except for the first day, and then I have a new start for the last day. So we have lots to talk about. So welcome, welcome. I hope you've been well. Like I said, my name is Phoebe. I live in Utah. I'm a mom of 4. My husband works from home. I work from home, and we kind of live out in the country-ish part of Utah, and we really like it out here. And I have a almost 20-year-old. I have an 18-year-old that's about to graduate from high school. I can't believe I'm gonna have a junior in college. And he loves school, so he will probably be in school for a while because he just really loves it. And then I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. So that's a little bit about me. I love reading. I love music. I love nail polish. And I love cross stitch. And I love hanging out with my family. So that's a little bit about me. In case you are new here, welcome, welcome. So I do have one finish, so I'm going to share that with you before we get into whips. And actually, this is me jumping backward from in the middle of talking about whips because I forgot this was a finish. So ta-da! This is Summertime from Primrose Cottage. I loved this. I have learned I love fonts. So Primrose Cottage is really great because she has a lot of pieces that have fun fonts. And I was so close to having this done on the 7th is when I was stitching on this. And I showed Heidi, my friend Heidi from Whips and Kits, definitely go follow her. And she was like, just finish it up. So the next day, which I was supposed to be working on for Where Your Treasure Is on the next day. So I'm gonna show you that next, and I just knocked this out in the morning to have it all done. So this is on a piece of 28 count, even weave, just plain white, so you could see all of that beautiful color. It is almost all of the called for DMC, but there is a few variegated. I think the yellows are variegated. And then actually for the brown, I didn't end up doing 2 different browns. I had such a variegated brown like on the cone. It's supposed to be checkered on the cone. I didn't do it. I just used the one shade that I had there. And I feel like it looks really nice. So that's my finish. It is 2 strands over 2. Yes, not over 1. On 28 count even weave. And yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed that. So, don't know what else to say about that one, but that means it is going to, I will skip over the spot for the 7th of May in Maynia. And I already have one thing crossed off on my Maynia for this year, so that was really fun. Okay, now we'll get into whips. All right, so we're gonna get into it, and I have a project that I stitch on every day. I put in 2 strands of floss every day, and it used to be part of my Maynia, but I pulled that out of my Maynia this year, so I'm gonna share that with you first because I was doing that every day since the last time you saw me. So my 2 strands a day project, which I learned the technique from Sarah, from Sarah's Stitchy Spot. Hi, Sarah. I chose my oldest whip after I finished my last 2 strands a day, which was Happy Heart Sampler from Birds of a Feather. So I have moved on. This is my oldest whip, and it is Primitive Hare Halloween This Way. I love this one. It is so cute. I feel like the perfect mix of fun and prim. She does have some really nice bright colors in here. I am using all of the called for flosses. I'm also stitching this on the fabric from the Primitive Hare, the big spell linen 30 count. And so called for, I'm doing 2 strands over 2 on this 30 count. And so last time you saw this, I was filling in that sign that says ghost crossing. So I finished all of that. I put in those skulls over there, and then I started in on the sign below it, which is going to say Halloween Town. So I started outlining the top, and then I was like, oh, I'm over by the H, let's jump into that H. Look at that fun font. It is super fun. So almost done with Halloween Town, the words, and then I'm gonna fill that one in. I'll outline it and fill it in. And then there's only one sign, I think, below that one. So pretty exciting. This one's gonna be done pretty soon, but I have enjoyed working on this one so much. I just don't always feel like Halloween stitching, so that's why it's taken a while to get done. But I am not minding at all having this out every single day. It is a delight. So love this, and you will keep seeing this in my videos till it's done. All right, so we're gonna get into Maynia. Here's my Maynia list. Anything that I took all the projects from last year and put them in, and then you can see the different color ink. That's all the stuff that I've plotted in because I had a bunch of finishes from this list last year. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Starting with Golden Delicious from the Artsy Housewife. I am using a combination of flosses that maybe has 1 or 2 things that was in the original call for, but I didn't have them all at the time, so I just pulled from stash. And I love this project, and I love the fabric. It's easier to see the fabric when I don't open it all the way up, but it's really, really fun. It's just a piece that I overdyed. So here is my Golden Delicious. It is coming along. So on the 5th of May, I stitched on this one. Let me think what I did. I think that I filled out this border, putting the green all the way around the top, and then I think I was filling out this side border there. So I just did more stuff for the framing of it, stuff that was easy to stitch without having to look at the pattern a ton, I feel like. So this will be going into my Maynia whip list now, which gets a random draw every time I film. So this gets a higher chance to come out now that it's on my Maynia list, because now there's 2 ways for it to be drawn for it to come out. So I had so much fun stitching on Maynia pieces this last 2 weeks. So this is a 40 count. So I'm doing 1 strand over 2 on the Artsy Housewife Golden Delicious. On the 6th of May, I put in a new project again. So the 5th I had a new one, and the 6th because of projects that I finished in the past. Oh, let me show you this fabric before I open it up. I love this one as well. It is kind of cream, brownie cream with a lot of indigo in it. So this, oh, here's a more colored side. This is for Toil and Trouble from Plum Street Samplers. I also love this project. I'm stitching this on a piece of 40 count. So I'm doing 1 strand over 2. And I'm using, again, I believe some of the called for flosses, but most of them are things that I've pulled from stash. And I do that a lot. If you're new to my channel, if I don't already have it in stash, I just go off the DMC list and pick flosses either that I've dyed or I have from other dyers, and that makes it really fun for me. I like to see, like, oh, what is this combination gonna look like? It doesn't bother me that it's not gonna look just like the image on the model. So I believe this time I think I finished filling out one of these trees, whichever one was halfway done, and then I moved over into this guy and I was filling it in, and then I feel like when that floss ran out, I moved over and I started filling in this tree. So that's what I was working on, filling in some trees. I love it. I love that they're big, beautiful trees that have all this fun variegated floss. Although this one is an MPI silk, so that one's not going to be variegated, but it is going to be very pretty. So 40 count, Plum Street Samplers, Toil and Trouble. And this is on a piece of linen that I have dyed. with not many of the called for flosses. So again, a new project to be added to my Maynia whip wheel. So on day 8 of May, I was working on For Where Your Treasure Is from Abby Rose Designs. And this actually was not in my whip parade during my Flosstube anniversary in March because I forgot. I forgot that I started this on 12 by 12 for New Year's Eve this year. So this is a 32 count vintage smoky white from Zweigart. So it's printed, it's like vintage country mocha, but it's a white background, and I really like it. I really have been enjoying that quite a bit. So I am doing 1 strand stitching on this 32 count, and I really enjoy that. I always prefer 1 strand stitching, so I push the prim quality of it and do 1 strand on 32 count sometimes because I just want to. I just want to enjoy the stitching experience more than the feeling that I want it like super full coverage looking. Not full coverage, but you know what I mean. Super full stitches and the coverage. So anyway, I'm really loving this, and this is my first Abby Rose Designs project. It is such a joy to stitch on. I am using all of the called for flosses. So yeah, sorry that you didn't see this during my whip parade, but now you're seeing it. All right, on May 9th, I also had a spot to add something new, and I decided to pull out Andale. So this was my back to school project started by Lauren, the New Hampshire stitcher, last year in 2023, and I know she's going to do it again. And I think in her most recent video she said start thinking now about what you want to start for back to school 2024. And I had forgotten because I stitched on this for a whole month in September, and I stitched on it every day, like my 2 strand stitching. And so I put it away until this time, until Maynia, and I forgot that I was using all the called for MPIs, and they are so nice. So here's the fabric. It is, I don't know if you can tell that it is green. So, I don't know. But anyway, let me open up this big old fat half. I love this project so much, and I decided to put it in my Maynia after watching Lauren's video. And whenever I watch Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle, she's always working on Anne, or maybe she has her finished now, I can't remember, but it's so beautiful. So it always makes me want to get it out. I love it so much. So this is going to be absolutely huge. If you want to see somebody who is much farther along than I, go check out Narissa's video. Literally, when I watch her videos, I just think, she actually does have quite a few started that I have as well, and I'm like, oh, I just need to be working on that right now. Every single thing she's doing, I'm just obsessed with. So, what did I do this time? I finished this motif, and then I started this one, and I might have finished this whole guy. Yeah, I think I did. I finished this whole one. So those are birds. Can't see the birds maybe very well, so they're ecru, but yeah, I just love it, and I'm stitching it on like a very light pistachio, and it's gorgeous. So it's 40 count, so it's 1/2 with the MPIs called for, and this will be my May 9th spot now. On the 10th of Maynia, I work on my Mirabilia, and that is how it's been for the last 2 years, and it did not change this year. So this is probably like the only time you will ever hear me say I'm stitching with the called for fabric. Because that part of the stitching really doesn't matter to me that much. I am using all the called for floss and fabric for Garden Prelude from Mirabilia. I have a number of other Mirabilias, including Nightingale, that I really want to start soon. I just love the color combo in Nightingale, so pretty. But I also love this one, the yellows and the purples, and I actually didn't stitch over here in this portion that I've beaded in. I didn't work on that this time. What I did was I built out this arch, and it doesn't go too much past that. And then I worked on her hair. So all I did was brown and black this time. So it's just DMC 310, and then that's 2 shades of black going up over the arch. But I wanted to kind of, there's not a border on this piece, but I wanted to kind of get that over and see how far over we were gonna get. So, yep, not of a massive amount done on her. Need to think of a name. What's her name? Maybe her name is something like Annalise, this beautiful violinist. I have a niece named Annalise. So anyway, that's my Mirabilia. So this is 32 count Weichelt raw, I think is what it's, natural raw or something. By the way, if you hear any little scuttling sounds, my college student son, he keeps his bearded dragon in here. He's not home with us all the time. He's here occasionally, but in the summertime, he's here all except the weekends. And so his little guy is moving over there. It's a boy named Lizzie. So anyway, here's my Mirabilia. I love her. I don't zoom on this project. It's 2-strand stitching, which is not my fave, and this fabric is not my fave. But I just love how this is coming together. On the 11th of my Maynia list is a new project. Not new, but it's new to Maynia. So this is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, and I am currently working on block 1. So when I finally started block 1 a while ago, all I had done was started outlining the square. So I finished up the outline of the square this time, and then everything inside of here, I believe, is new. So I discovered that although I had all the flosses in this kit used in here, there were a number of them that I didn't have yet in there. So I put in flosses from what I had. I did not make a trip to Hobby Lobby to grab those other DMC for this time around, but I do need to go grab some other DMC for that. So yeah, I've been putting on the screen the patterns. I like to do that. So I only have to remember grabbing to hold up the projects, and then I can put them on the screen, and that makes it easy for me. So you can see what block 1 is gonna look like. And yeah, I don't have very much progress on my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. And I really wanna start Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow with Heidi. She's gonna start it, she has it all kitted up. But I don't know if I wanna start that if I haven't finished this. So I gotta decide what I think about it. Anyway, this is a 40 count. It's just the natural color. I didn't over dye it at all. I always say I love seeing people stitch on their Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow when they've used like purple or grays or something, but I didn't. I just went plain, and I'm using the DMCs. Okay, my day 12. Yes, my day 12 was also a spot where I could put in a current whip. So I put in my Emeline Hotchkiss from Cross Stitch Antiques. This is a more recent start. I started this with Audrey from Stitch Bead and Kim from Contented Needleworker Kim. And yeah, I got some more progress on it. So it's on my day 12 spot now. So I think I did a little bit more of the vining on the side, but mostly I was building out the lines there, I think, finishing up over to there, the numbers, and then working on this guy. So all of the whips you're seeing today just have 1 day of stitching apart from Halloween This Way. So this is what I was able to get done on the 12th. This is a piece of, I think, 36 count, and I've over dyed it. I almost always start up in this corner, but I decided to start over here this time, and I really, really like it. I'm using, again, it's like a few, 2 or 3 of the call for flosses, and then the rest are just from stash, and it is so beautiful. Next is another big project on this interesting fabric, which I have dyed. It is gray-green with some teals in there. So this is Dutch Steps of Life from GGR. So I was attempting to make it look more akin to the antique sampler rather than, so my way of doing that was to put it on a grungy fabric. But I'm finding that the kind of really lovely pastels, they don't show up on here as much as I would like, but I will not be, I'm still enjoying stitching on this. It's just every time I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh man, the dark and dirty. That was a choice. That was a choice. But anyway, so this is a 40 count that I over dyed. Yes, I did this on purpose to look like that. So anyway, what did I do this time? I believe my camera just powered itself down, so I don't know. I may have to end up refilming this if I just lost all that previous stuff. So anyway, I was just saying that This time I basically worked on everything from the windmill over, so there's just like a few motifs in there. I did not get a massive amount done. I think I brought the toothy border, toothy, across, and then I finished the bird, finished the crown, if that's a crown or a basket, this little guy, and started on that. So not a ton done on this one, but some. Oh, and so this is a piece of 40 count, and this has maybe, again, a couple of the called for, but mostly from stash. The next day of the month is the 14th, and I worked on my Halloween Quaker from Lila's studio, and I was going down here. So this is a piece of 28 count cauldron, and I love it. It is a pretty tight weave though after the dyeing process, I think, for the 2 strands, but I'm doing all the called for flosses with 2 strands. So this time I put in that whole spider section motif, and that was a super fun one. There is almost like one giant, the spider web in the middle is like one giant, like a Smyrna cross or something. And then I've worked on the pumpkin and then the tree down there. So everything from this medallion down. So that was super, super fun. Loved that. So here's where I'm at. So I'm getting close to half done, I think. It only probably goes to about that wide. It's maybe a little bit more than half done. So 28 count, 2/2, called for flosses. This is Lila Studio Halloween Quaker. On day 15, I have Hello Halloween from Sue Hillis Designs, and I finally put in the skeletons. So the last time you saw this, everything is the same pretty much, except for on the truck. I put in that long line, and then I put in the skeletons. So this is all the called for flosses. Those skeletons are 3865, which I think they call for Blanc. And then they have some backstitching for their fingers, which is fun, and the rib cages. And I think this is a Fiber on a Whim pumpkin, I think. So she's coming along, but the shades of gray that are in this truck, they're so similar. There's like 3 different shades in here that it's kind of hard for me to figure out where I am sometimes. Sometimes I wish that I had this in my Markup XP app, but anyway, I feel like this one is taking forever to finish. So this is probably what's going to be next on my 2 strands a day, I feel like. Or maybe it's my Halloween Quaker that's a little bit older than this one. So yeah, we got to get this baby done. Oh, this is 36 count, and I'm doing 1 strand on the Fiber on a Whim 36 count. So on the next day, I had an empty spot, so I put in the Vanity sampler from Hello from Liz Matthews, and here's where I am at. So this one was a restart, I think, the last time you saw it, because I had started on a piece of fabric that was way too busy for these flosses. I'm doing it with like a variation on Cam the Stitcher's Glam Goth, Vintage Goth conversion, which is a lot of deep teal gray and like fuchsia magenta kind of shades. But I ended up fudging it a little bit on a few of those, tweaking just a little bit, but it's going to be in the same spirit of that. And she has a lot of progress on hers, so definitely go check out her most recent video. So this is a piece of 40 count that I over dyed, and so I'm using 1 strand over 2, and it's just so pretty. I love the colors. It's gonna be so fun on the wall. So I think this time I brought this over more. I finished this flower, brought this all the way down, brought this over, and that's pretty much all I got done on that day. We're almost done with whips. This is the second to last one that I worked on, and this is Oh Joyous Day from Blackbird Designs, and I love it so much. It's on this piece of 28 count linen that I over dyed with these kind of peachy, like very light salmony peach, and I'm using half the call for flosses and half my own conversion. And you actually saw this pretty recently. So all I did this time was I put in 3 lines of border. So I did this one, and then started on this one. So, actually I think I may have done the bottom, the one right above the zigzag. So that's all I did this time. I really, really love this project. It is so fun and so many people are working on it. Katie the Novel Stitcher, Bridge in the Museum Stitcher, Sarah Stitchy Spot. So many beautiful stitchers have great progress on this, so go check out those channels definitely if you aren't already following them. And yeah, I love it. So my final whip is Bethlehem from Imaginating. This is what I was... Okay, so here's the thing. This is me tomorrow, next day Phoebe, editing the footage, and in fact the file did just stop working and cut off right before my last whip. So the very last day I stitched before filming yesterday, I was stitching on Imaginating Bethlehem, which is this really cool horizontal piece. It's going to go like over to here, I think, and it's only going to be that tall. So I'm stitching this with sulky thread. It's just a navy blue sulky. I'm doing 1 strand on 36 count. Here's what the fabric looks like. This lighting is awful for showing fabric, but it is a 36 count that I over dyed with some grays and a little bit of navy. So that is my last whip, and basically everything from like middle of this tower that reminds me of the tower on Vertigo. You know, the Hitchcock Vertigo. Everything from there over was new yesterday, I think. So this was my day 19 stitching. Today, for day 20, oh wait, no, that was my day 18, because then on day 19, I stitched on Christmas Alphabet by Jan Hicks, but you'll see that in my next video. So that is all my whips. So now I have one kit to share with you, because this is in my plans. And I kitted up Hannah Elliott from Needlework Press for my final, my day 24 for Maynia 2024. So I kitted up from Stash. I had called for, it's all classic Colorworks, or I think it's Veriswell. And so I had Bean Sprout from Classic Colorworks, Queen Bee, and Roasted Chestnut. But the rest of them I didn't have, like any of the blues or the reds. Oh wait, no, I had Ladybug. But actually I switched it out for Sushi from Be Stitch Me, which I actually over dyed. Recently I over dyed a whole bunch. I was talking about it in my vlog recently. That's on my other channel. It's called Phoebe Moon, where I talk about nail polish, and I have family vlogs over on that channel. Anyway, a lot of the Be Stitch Me silks I loved, but they were too vibrant for the kind of stitching that I wanted to do. So I over dyed them with Rit Dye Taupe and made them a lot more usable for me. So this is going to be, this is a piece of 40 count that I over dyed. It is just white, and I over dyed it with some soft cream. Sorry about the lighting in here. And I'm going to start that on the 24th. And Heidi and I from Whips and Kits, we're going to start that together. I don't know if she's starting on the 24th. There's a lot of dinky dyes in here. So, wait, no, it's not. Is it a Veriswa? There's like a whole Gloriana. Oh, I wish I could stitch it with all the Glorianas. That would be amazing. So, those are my plans. I had mentioned earlier that I was going to talk about books, but I don't have a ton of space on my phone to film because I use it for work, and I have a lot of nail polish swatches on here for work and content for that channel. So I'm going to talk about books in my next episode, and we'll just do like a whole month's worth of books in the next episode because I'm just going to keep this clip short. So that's gonna be it for this episode. I'm so glad that you could join me today. Thanks for putting up with the shenanigans. I hope that you had some fun hanging out with me. I hope you have so much stitchy time between now and my next episode in 2 weeks. And I will see you then. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and take care. All right, bye.